Very honored to be joined by some of our frontline law enforcement officers here, conservation officers, who are going to be part, and have been already, part of the expanded effort to have a presence along our southern border. Everybody in Manitoba right now is paying attention to building up the relationship with the United States of America. We know that President Trump has brought in a bunch of new dynamics for our province and for our great country of Canada. And one of the important priorities that we have as the government of Manitoba is to send a strong message to people in our province that having a strong and secure border is important to us as Manitobans. Now, this is something that's a big priority for people here in the province because we want to have safe communities. But I also know that people in southern Manitoba have seen very, very serious situations that underline the fact that there's a humanitarian priority along the border as well. We know that just within the past few years, there's a very tragic story where a family from India lost their lives, freezing to death trying to cross the border heading south. Just within the past few weeks, people coming north from the US into Canada, the reports being they didn't have the gloves, mitts, and toques to be warm. And yes, we are Canadians, so I will say toques. Now, as part of our overall response to invest in jobs and to protect the Manitoba economy, we're also sending this message that asking our conservation officers to have that presence, to be that additional eyes and ears along the border, to be able to respond to that humanitarian priority, potentially save lives there. And if they do see anything of note, to feed that into the other law enforcement partners that we have at the federal level who help to secure Canada's border, such as CBSA and, of course, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Now, here today we're with conservation officers out of Sprague and Manitou. And I'd also add that we're making this investment alongside additional resources for motor carrier enforcement officials who will be along roads and highways near the American border as well. And of course, we are investing additional resources into the Manitoba contingent of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So as Canadians and as Manitobans, we want to have a strong and secure border. And during these unprecedented times, it's important that we as a province put our resources forward to ensure that we're keeping you safe and we're keeping our economy strong. At the same time, throughout our history as Manitobans, we welcome people here from around the world fleeing conflict, fleeing famine, fleeing natural disaster. And when those situations arise and that humanitarian call is made, Manitobans have always stood up to answer. And so we're asking our conservation officers here to play a part in continuing those long-standing Manitoba values of being those friendly Manitobans who will extend that helping hand to people in need. So this is one of the things that our government is doing to keep you safe. And I want to thank Corey Meadows, our Chief Conservation Officer, who is here with us today, as well as the officers here from Sprague and Manitou, as well as those who are part of this initiative in other locations like Virden, Boissevain, Steinbach, and Winnipeg.